Quasi here, and in today's video we're going to talk about how to eliminate procrastination from a context of motivation, understanding why your motivation is so fleeting and why you can't get it and why you can't be productive and fall in love with the work that you're doing. Understanding this was probably the most important part of my journey as a business owner, because I saw that sometimes I would have to force myself to do things that I didn't want to do, but other times I was super fulfilled, doing things that maybe originally I couldn't do it because of a simple perspective shift. So in this video, I'm going to share with you how you can attain that perspective shift so you can start doing those hard things that you originally may not like, but overall have a more fulfilling life and actually enjoy your business, and as a result, probably make more money from it. So stick around to the very end. I've got some real good stuff for you today. So before I begin this video, I want to quickly announce that I made a brand new bootcamp for you, a video series where, it's some of the best videos from the channel. So you can go down to the comment section, the pinned comments, and access that, as well as our exclusive email list where you'll be able to see stuff and get access to the stuff that I can't really share on the channel because of the platform limitations here. So without further delay, let's go right ahead and get started. Today, I want to talk about motivation and why it's so fleeting and why you don't have any say in it, even though it's happening within you. And I've always believed that anytime an experience happens within us, we should have full say in when we want to experience it, not wait for some external trigger to trigger it within us, right? So that's what my journey has been throughout this whole channel. And if you follow the channel, you know that's what I'm about. So let's begin with the topic of procrastination, right? Why you put things off till the last minute, or why you never do it. Now, procrastination simply happens because there's not a good enough reason to do something. And usually for most people, how we've been trained up until this point is a good enough reason means either I'm going to get in trouble if I don't do this, I have some deadline that I got to meet, or this is really fun to do and I really want to do this and I want the reward from this, which is making money. So if you have a good enough reason to do something, then you'll do it. But all of those reasons that I described are what's known as extrinsic motivation. Okay, so there's two types of motivations. There's extrinsic motivation and intrinsic. And this is something that I discovered recently, but I've started to see, and now that I look at it, I look back at my life, boy, is this accurate? So extrinsic motivation explains why you seek external sources to trigger this feeling within you. So extrinsic motivation essentially is when you get a reward, an external reward from external sources. So you do something because you want to avoid punishment or avoid an unpleasant consequence, or you want to experience a pleasant consequence. So for example, an extrinsic reward could be, you make a new funnel for your business and you make more money, right? So you're making this funnel to get the external reward, which is to make more money. Make money. You do things that make you more money is an extrinsic motivation. Now, on the other hand, intrinsic motivations are things that you just get a joy out of doing, right? So reward from internal. Reward from internal. So you do something because it makes you feel good. Just the activity itself, the behavior itself makes you feel good. For example, playing a sport. You don't have to get a reward. You don't have to get some sort of recognition from it or make some money from it. You play it because you enjoy the sport. And if you look at the lives of the most successful athletes, they all do these sports because they enjoy, because of their love for the game, right? So Michael Jordan was interviewed in one interview, and he was asked, I think some mother of a teenage kid who wanted her son to be successful in basketball asked Michael, Michael, what would you advise a 17-year-old trying to become the best in the world at basketball? And he said, fall in love with the game, which is literally an intrinsic reward, an intrinsic motivation. So, the fundamental difference between extrinsic and intrinsic is in the words themselves. Extrinsic is an external reward. You get some external source of validation, you try to impress someone, and then you get their approval. Or intrinsic is you just become a good person and do good things for people without expecting anything in return because you like the act of doing good things. It makes you feel good, right? So this helped me understand why I was procrastinating and why I put certain things off and worked on certain other things. So to give you an example, when I made like a funnel for the first time, like a marketing funnel, right? I created everything and I was super excited doing it. And then I saw that it started to make me money and I started to get extrinsic rewards from it. And then the time when it didn't make me money anymore came around and I had to make a new funnel. I was like, oh, I don't want to do this again. So receiving an extrinsic reward from something you get intrinsic joy from can actually be detrimental to you, right? So you get lost in trying to grab these extrinsic rewards. And when they're not there, you don't want to do the task anymore, right? I don't know why this happens, but for some reason, whenever you get some external reward for something that was already fulfilling you internally, it can oftentimes, if it's heavily done, it can oftentimes deter you from doing that task. I hope that makes sense. So that happened with the funnel, that happened with when I was creating the program. You know, when I made the Reality Mastery program at first, I was super excited. I just got into flow state. I was super focused. You know, I would be able to work 10, 12 hours a day effortlessly with ease because I was just working on creating something. And I love to do that. But when time came around to recreate it, because I saw people were getting so many, you know, such great results from it, I was like, oh, I don't really want to redo this. It's already good. You know, why should I redo this if it's not broken? Even though I knew that, you know, I could improve a lot of things with the knowledge that I've gained within the past 2-3 years, right? So that's how it happened to me, and now I'm going to show you how I overcame it. So here are the 2 keys to overcoming it and being able to access intrinsic motivation whenever you want. So key number 1, what I want you to understand is that both intrinsic and extrinsic motivations have their place, right? So number 1, whenever you begin tasks, you want to sell yourself on the promise of the extrinsic motivation, which is pretty easy to do. Promise of reward. With the promise not of extrinsic motivation, but of reward. So this is extrinsic, right? So for example, let's say you want to quit your job and start a business. You want to be sold on the idea that starting a business is good, right? It'll give you more freedom. It will, you know, make you potentially have no cap on your salary, on your income, and you know, you might be able to do the things that you've always wanted to do because of the time and the financial freedom, right? So that's how you get started with the task. You sell yourself on the promise, on the promise of the rewards. Like, this is possible. There is potential of this happening. And this inspires you to actually get started. But the problem is when people get started, they can't continue because they don't find that source of joy. They keep getting these cognitive dissonances. They're like, oh, I know I need to sell, but I feel so sleazy selling. How do you balance that? Well, this is when number 2 comes in. When you perform the tasks, give yourself a mental reward. So I'm hyper simplifying this. There's obviously much more to this, which is what I discuss in our program. And obviously for the scope of this video, I can't go that detailed. But in a nutshell, when you're doing a task, give yourself some mental reward for it. And this is what helped me out. So to give you an example, when I approached making the second version of the program, you know, as I approached it at the start, I was massively procrastinating on it because I was constantly overthinking little details, and I was like, oh, is this good or is this bad? I was like, oh, I don't want to do this. Every single morning when I came in, I was like, oh, I don't really want to do this. And so I would just keep putting it off and just doing the unnecessary. But what I realized was once I got into it, I just had to get into it. And once I got into it and I stopped overthinking and I just freely did it, you know, without judgment, just like put it on the page and just wrote drunk, edited sober mentality. And I started to reward myself for every single milestone that I completed. Then I felt more energized Because guess what's happening here? When you give yourself a mental reward, this reward is coming internally, right? You are rewarding yourself by recognizing your accomplishments. You are rewarding yourself by recognizing and leveling up. I actually made another video on this, teaching you how to master getting intrinsic rewards. If you click some little I up here, I'll even put in the description below. But there's essentially 4 ways, and why video games are so good at this in helping us feel intrinsically motivated, even though we're not entirely relying on points, badges, and leaderboards, right? So when you're performing the task, simply give yourself a mental reward. And what this will do is allow you to get engaged and fall in love with the process of doing it. So when I first started, I remember this is what happened to me. Whenever I would complete a module or something, or a slide or something, I would just mentally feel accomplished, and it would make me feel good. And when I was getting this from internally, what do you think happened? I kept doing more and more of that. I kept doing more and more of that task. Instead of getting some external reward, like, maybe a client gets a great result from it, which is also very, very motivating. But the problem is you can't see the direct results of it when you're in development mode, right? That takes some time to happen. But in the meantime, you still have to get yourself motivated to do it. And that's how you do it. That's how you access it. This is the secret. Giving yourself mental rewards and just realizing that, wait a second, I did this. I completed this. So just think about it that way. Like when you tidy your room or something, you feel accomplished. You feel like you've done something productive. You feel good. You feel productive. And when you feel productive, you can manipulate your own physiology or your own psyche to be able to give yourself, to be able to unlock these rewards without getting money or anything. Because think about it, the external rewards are always short-lived. You get some money, you're like, oh, what's next? How can I get more money? I just got a hit. It's kind of like taking a hit of a drug. It just wears off very quickly, right? So with that, I conclude this video. I hope this was helpful. Let's do a quick recap of what we talked about today. We talked about motivation, why you procrastinate, the real reason behind procrastination, and the 2 types of motivations that are actually needed, and how to use what. We began with why one procrastinates, and it's because there's no good enough reason to do something. You don't have a good enough reason to make more money, right? So a lot of the clients that we work with get to a certain point in their businesses and they get stuck. They can't work anymore. And we had this one guy who was making around 60, 70 grand a month, and he couldn't even get himself to do simple administrative tasks because he had such an internal conflict. He was like, oh, I don't really want to do this. This doesn't excite me anymore. I'm making enough money already. Why not just stop here? Right? And he was like 19 or 18 years old. And he came into the program. We showed him how to tap into his psychology. And he started to get into flow state. And he went from doing 80 grand a month. And I think within 6-7 months, now he's doing around 200 grand a month in his business. And he's enjoying life in the process, right? He eliminated that internal conflict, that cognitive dissonance, and fighting against himself. And now he sees this as an intrinsically motivating task. So we talked about the 2 types of motivations as well. Extrinsic, when you get reward from the external, and an example of that, a great example of that is making money. You do something, you make money. You do something, you get a reward, an external reward. And that reward makes you feel high, not the doing itself, okay? The intrinsic is when you get rewarded from the activity itself without getting anything from the activity. You play golf, you play a sport, you enjoy the sport itself. And this makes you internally joyful. You give yourself that reward. And the example I gave you was when I built that funnel for the first time. When I did that marketing for the first time, it was good. I enjoyed the act of doing it, and then I started making money from it. So when you get extrinsically rewarded for something you already intrinsically enjoy, it kind of can sometimes ruin that experience. It can ruin you for future intrinsically motivating tasks. So then when time came for me to make another funnel, because this one wasn't making enough money, I couldn't do it because I didn't want to do it, at least, because I was already getting extrinsic rewards from it. It's like, I don't want to make this for more money. Like, money doesn't motivate me anymore. Doing something that I love motivates me. So I had to re-perspectivize it. What would I enjoy making? What would be fun for me to make? Just like when I make these videos. You know, I've made over like 400 of them now. And you might be wondering, why aren't you bored of it? Like, aren't you kind of sick of it? And sometimes when I think about it like that, like, oh, what am I getting from it? 400 videos, am I going to keep doing it forever? It does make me like get kind of sick of it. But when I think about how I'm making these videos, the different styles, the different things I experiment on every single video, now the activity itself gives me motivation. And let's talk about the 2 keys to help you do that. Key number 1, you begin with tasks with the promise of a reward. You know, you begin, for me, making every single video could be a potential source of revenue, right? So I begin that task, oh wait, this could be good. And when you perform the task, I give myself mental pats on the back, like, hey, I accomplished this again. Another thing you could do, apart from mental rewards, is experiment and find new ways to make stuff fun. And that's why I attached the other video for you in the description section. If you check that out, it'll help you out for sure. But with that, I conclude this video. Thank you so much for watching. Leave me a comment letting me know what you thought of this, if this was actually helpful, if you have any questions, if you have any suggestions for future videos. I'm always curious to know what you guys think. It helps me make better videos for you too. And also, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit that little bell there so you're notified of any new video that I put out. If you'd like to work closer with me and my team in our Reality Mastery program, where we actually work with entrepreneurs who are stuck at a certain revenue level in their businesses and they just can't get to that next level, not because they have a tactical or strategic problem, they're starting to see that the problem is internal. They procrastinate, they can't do the things that they love to do, they haven't mastered their psychology. And that's why their personal problems are reflecting out into their businesses. If that sounds like you, please go down to the description section and click on the link to apply to see if we can help you. And also the free Facebook group is open for you to take advantage of. The link for that is also in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time. Peace.